What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check updates, the two new upcoming packages, the $1.2 trillion infrastructure package part 1, and the next stimulus package part 2, which is $3.5 trillion, the largest stimulus package yet to date, which has plenty of money in there for everything and the kitchen sink. It's just almost double the third stimulus check package, which was $1.9 trillion. It will have plenty of money in there for pretty much everything you can imagine. We will possibly be finding out what will be in that next stimulus package this week, as they're saying that we could have bills, the actual writing of the bills on both part 1 and part 2 of these two next packages this week. I'll give you the latest details of that and what is going on in our country and what is going on in Washington, D.C. in this video. If you're new to the channel or if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. And don't forget to hit the like button for us. It really helps out our channel. As you can see here, as the Delta variant of the COVID virus spread quickens, the CDC is being pressured to revise their mask guidance. Yes, some experts are urging even the vaccinated to resume covering up. COVID deaths have surged 50% in just a week. Yes, as the Delta variant is taking hold, it accounts for over 80% of all COVID cases in the United States right now, and all 50 states are seeing an increase in COVID cases and 50% increase in deaths in just the last week. Yes. So, in fact, Los Angeles County, which is the largest county in the United States, has just brought back their mask mandate this past week. Yeah. Also, we are seeing more and more lawsuits against Republican governors for ending the unemployment assistance, the $300 per week unemployment boost, as well as ending the extra weeks of unemployment assistance. The latest lawsuit is against the governor of Arkansas, Governor Hutchinson. Lawsuit filed against Governor Asa Hutchinson for ending the pandemic unemployment assistance early. Attorneys at Legal Aid of Arkansas, a nonprofit that provides free legal assistance to low-income Arkansas. We currently have lawsuits in the states of Maryland and Indiana have both won on the side of the people. They have filed the states against the governors and the states and have won. The people have won, I should say. And the states have been ordered by judges in those states to pay the $300 per week unemployment benefits and possibly retroactive. I believe we're still waiting to see that in the states of Maryland and Indiana so far. There are also ongoing lawsuits for the states of Texas, Ohio, Oklahoma, Florida, and now Arkansas and Tennessee, two new lawsuits. We might also see more and more of these lawsuits going on as they're starting to come in one by one for pretty much all of the 25 Republican-led governored states that have all opted out of these unemployment bonuses. Now, here's an interesting fact that I've just actually learned here in the last 24 hours. Part of this Part 1 infrastructure package is the Republicans of this package are, remember, the infrastructure package part 1 and the next stimulus package part 2. What's interesting about these two packages that's different than all the past stimulus packages, remember, former President Donald Trump, he actually passed 5 stimulus packages. 2 of those stimulus packages had stimulus checks, but there was 5 stimulus packages in total. The other ones had money like Paycheck Protection Program or vaccine money or a different type of stimulus money. One stimulus package passed so far by President Biden. These other 2 are on the way, or at least one infrastructure package, one stimulus package. All the past stimulus packages, nobody really paid for, okay? There were no tax raises, and the government already spends more money than they take in, so they just kind of went onto the national debt, and nobody really paid for them, okay, if that kind of makes sense. These two packages are different. They're going to be paid for, okay? They're going to raise taxes on corporations and the wealthy, and they're doing some creative financing, and there's gonna be several different pay fors in there, and they're saying that both these packages are going to be paid for. One of the ways the part one, the physical infrastructure package, is going to be paid for is they're using the money that these Republican governors are saving, quote, quote, saving by not giving it to the people with these unemployment bonuses, because what they're saying is that it was already passed by previous stimulus packages, and now these governors are opting out of the unemployment bonuses. Thus, they're not giving the money out, so that money is just kind of sitting there unspent. And they're going to use this for Part One infrastructure package, so it's already kind of paid for. Well, what's interesting is that these Republican governors are now kind of losing these lawsuits, coincidentally, by their own state judges. Their own judges are kind of ruling against their own state. Okay. So, yeah, their own state judges are ruling against their own states, but for their own people. So, nonetheless, it's not really biased one way or another. Their own judges are ruling for their own people, saying, well, hey, we don't think this is right. We think the people are entitled to this money that was passed from the third stimulus check package. So, one by one, now, it doesn't necessarily mean that every state is going to rule this way, but these people are starting to win these cases, and they're getting this $300 per week unemployment money. Now, whether all states are going to get this money, we'll see. There is actually a chance, a small chance, that the Democrats could extend unemployment bonuses in this next package. Remember, Republicans are against this, but not necessarily Democrats. Okay, you can let me know your thoughts on that down below in the comments. Democrats are going to pass the next stimulus package on their own. Okay, remember, on this list of stimulus provisions, everything that is being discussed for the next stimulus package, extended unemployment benefits is actually on the list here of number 22. Again, it's a small chance. It's not one of the, I wouldn't put it as one of the highest chance items on here. For example, a fourth stimulus check or monthly stimulus checks, there's over 100 different Democrats that have publicly spoken out in public support, actually signed letters, publicly spoken out about it. There's not nearly as many Democrats that have publicly spoken out about extending unemployment benefits about that. But it is something that has been talked about, although a much lower chance. Republicans hate the idea, but just remember, it's the Democrats that are going to pass this next stimulus package, okay? So it is still a possibility that it could be extended, albeit a lower chance, okay? So these are kind of all the things that could be in this next stimulus package, okay? A lot of these things have a very, very high chance of being in this next stimulus package, as well as adult tax credits and possibly internet assistance. You know, a lot of our viewers here are already getting that $50 per month internet assistance or cell phone assistance from the past stimulus package. They could put additional money in there as well as extra SNAP assistance or food stamp assistance, as well as pandemic assistance, as well as adult tax credits and the child tax credits to $250 or $300 per month that they're currently paying out right now on July 15th and around the 15th per month every single month for the rest of the year. They want to extend those monthly payments until 2025 probably. And they're saying that there's an adult tax credit in this next package that you never know, could be monthly payments for low income adults as well. Remember, these child tax credits that were passed in this third stimulus check package for only 1 year are monthly payments, $250 to $300 per month, the total up to $3,000 to $3,600 for the year per child for 65 million children. 65 million children. They're saying that there's going to be an adult tax credits, an extended and an expanded adult tax credit in this next package. Imagine if they did that for tens of millions of adults in this next package as well. Now, also, there's an Ohio judge that is going to be deciding on whether they're going to restore the $300 per week unemployment benefits in the state of Ohio this week, possibly. So, yeah, Ohio might be deciding, an Ohio judge might be deciding if they're going to restore the $300 per week unemployment benefits this week. Yeah, this week. So more and more states are possibly restoring benefits this week. I will keep you up to date on that as well. Now, more and more, both Republican and Democratic negotiators are saying, quote, I believe we will have an infrastructure bill ready possibly as early as tomorrow. Check this out. Democratic Senator Mark Warner, a member of the bipartisan group of senators working on a massive infrastructure bill on Sunday, today, said he believes the legislation will be ready on Monday, tomorrow, after it failed a first vote on the Senate floor last week. Appearing on Fox News Sunday, he was asked by the host if the senators would, quote, have a bill in place for everybody to look at tomorrow. He says, quote, I believe we will. The one thing I hear all across Virginia in the last couple of days is people want us to invest in our infrastructure. If you step back, we have actually are investing at about half the rate we invested in our infrastructure we did in the 1990s. The Senate last week voted at the beginning of the debate on the infrastructure to vote no to bring it back up for the vote. Quote, we are and have agreed jointly on about roughly $70 billion of funds that were not spent that will be redeployed to help pay for this infrastructure package. The challenge is you got folks who want to make big, bold statements, but sometimes don't want to roll up their sleeves to get into the details and make this very hard choices about where we will find these pay-fors. Again, they want to pay for all of these packages. So again, we might see a bill as early as tomorrow on the infrastructure package, as well as, remember, both these packages are moving in tandem side by side. Here is what President Biden had to say recently about these packages moving forward.
Well, I'm delighted you're all here. I'm in a group of labor and business leaders who, and this is one of those meetings I've been looking forward to. They're not here to negotiate with one another. The good news is that they've been here supporting what we're trying to get done on infrastructure bill. And I know that we're looking for this bipartisan effort to get this infrastructure bill passed. As you all know, and I share my belief that it's both in the interest of business and labor to get this done. And it's not about energy versus environment, or it's not about business versus labor. It's all about basically the race to the future. I've been traveling the world lately and back out where I've used to spend a lot of time in the G7 and meeting with the summits with the Russians as well as NATO. And I tell you, the rest of the world is looking to see whether we can get something done. I'm not joking about that. The single biggest issue when you travel the world, all of you, the fact is that they're trying to figure out whether we're so divided that we can't get something done. And but I'm convinced that they're convinced now that we have an opportunity to make some real fundamental changes that generate growth in the future. You know, the days used to be that we were in a position where the United States invested more money in research and development 3-4 decades ago than any nation in the world. Now we're number 8. And it used to be that China was number 9, now they're number 2. This is about a race for the 21st century. And, you know, what we're doing here is, in this race for the future, it's about connecting Americans, all Americans, rural and urban, to high-speed internet, repairing our roads and our bridges so that we can, in fact, no longer be ranked number 9 or 10 in terms of infrastructure in America, back to what we used to be. We used to lead the world. We're going to electrify our school buses and our transit systems, and we're going to build national charging networks for electric vehicles, eliminate the nation's lead service pipes. We got 400,000 homes. I mean, there's just a whole lot we can do that's going to put a lot of people to work, and it's going to improve the life of a lot of people. We're going to update our power grid.
So honestly, they're very close to having a bill and also voting on it and passing it this week for part one, and then part two will be coming very shortly after. Remember, they've also been working on part two parallel this week as well. We could be having a bill and or a vote for part two this week as well. Remember that Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says they're working on part two in the background. Senator Bernie Sanders says that they've been working on part two, writing part two, discussing and figuring out what's going to be in part two as well. Also note that when part two, the bill comes out, they're probably going to end up changing it and discussing it. We've seen this as well with stimulus check and stimulus package number 2 and package number 3, that when the bills come out, they end up changing them significantly. In fact, the House of Representatives has actually been a little bit resentful that they have not been part of the process. We've seen this with the Senate, vice versa, that from the third stimulus check package, that the House has always been, from the second stimulus check package and the third stimulus check package, the House of Representatives and Nancy Pelosi have always been the starting process where they wrote the bills and passed them first and then sent them over to the Senate. And the Senate was always kind of like envious and jealous of them starting the process. It's kind of been reversed this time around. But Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House and the Democratic leader in the House, has kind of put an ultimatum on them that says you have to pass both of these together, not together, but like somewhat together. I know that kind of sounds a little bit weird, but basically what she has said to them, and President Biden kind of had to back her. She kind of he kind of had to have her back there because she kind of went a little bit rogue here, and we've seen this from Mitch McConnell do this against his president when former President Donald Trump was president. And when you're the leader of the House or the leader of the Senate, you can do this sometimes because you're kind of more powerful than the president sometimes on your own there, because you can basically put a bill off to the side. Mitch McConnell would call it his graveyard. We've seen this when former President Donald Trump wanted that second stimulus check, that $600 stimulus check. He wanted it to be $2,000, and that's when the $1,400 stimulus check even came about, because it's kind of an odd number. He said this $600 stimulus check should be $2,000, and Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats said, great, we've always wanted bigger stimulus checks to begin with. So literally like a day later, Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats drafted the Cash Act and passed it like a day later in the House with bipartisan support. Republicans voted for it, yes. They sent it over to the Senate when Mitch McConnell was in control of the Senate, and he never even let it go to a vote. And that can show you how one person, in this case, Mitch McConnell, when he was Senate Majority Leader, can actually be more powerful than a president. Even though they were from the same party, you would think Republican, they should have each other's back. In this case, Mitch McConnell didn't agree with it for whatever reason. He's probably one of those guys that thinks stimulus checks are free money. For whatever reason, you never know what one particular person is thinking. He didn't let it go to vote, and even it probably would have passed. And that bill died in the Senate because it never went to a vote. Even though it passed the House with Republican support and Democratic support, it was Republican president, former President Trump, that wanted that $1,400 stimulus check. That bill never even went to a vote. So what Nancy Pelosi is kind of saying here is that she's putting an insurance policy, so to speak, on this $3.5 trillion stimulus package, even though I don't really think it needs it, because the Democrats are going to pass it on their own with the reconciliation card, the reconciliation process, which means the Democrats are going to pass it on their own. Not a single Republican is going to vote for it. Okay, not a single Republican voted yes on the third stimulus check package. Republicans just stopped voting yes on stimulus packages as soon as Biden came into office. Remember, they voted yes on the second stimulus check package in December of last year, right before Biden came into office in January. So they were okay with stimulus packages in December, but as soon as Biden came into office in January, they're like, no more stimulus. I don't know. Seems a little bit political to me. I don't normally pick sides, but they were okay with stimulus up until December. But as soon as Biden came in January, now all of a sudden they don't want any more stimulus. You can let me know what you think there. If you're Republican or Democrat, let me know what you think there. But they were okay with stimulus up until December, but up as soon as January comes, now no more stimulus. Yeah. So I don't know why she wants this insurance policy on this next stimulus package. I know it's really large, but remember, Republicans aren't going to vote for it anyways. But what she's saying is that the Senate has to pass Part 1, the infrastructure package, and then pass Part 2, the stimulus package, which the Democrats are going to pass all by themselves. And then the House of Representatives is both will be passed from the Senate, passed. Then the House is going to pass both of them. So it complicates things a little bit, but that seems to be the way things are going to be done. So let me know your thoughts. We could see both those bills pass in the Senate this week. We could see significant progress on them this week. We could see the bills on both them this week. Even when we see bills on them, remember that history shows us that they could get changed significantly. Remember, the second stimulus check package came out, and it didn't even have a stimulus check in there at first. They changed it at the last minute. They added the stimulus check in there about 6 days before, after the bill was written. The third stimulus check package got changed significantly after the bill was written. In fact, the House passed the bill, and then the Senate changed it even after the House wrote the bill and passed it. They had to take the $15 an hour minimum wage out of there because there wasn't enough votes to pass it in the Senate. They added in that $10,200 unemployment tax-free provision. They added in, they added that in, took out the $15 an hour minimum wage, lowered the income threshold for the third stimulus check. So they add in and subtract things all the time. So just keep that in mind that even after they write the bill, they're probably going to add some goodies in there, even up until the last moment, because, well, that's what history shows us that they will do. So let me know your thoughts. Make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. Click the bell icon to all notifications to get reminder notifications when we go live with new videos, which is every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also share this video down below. There's a share link. You can send the link to your friends via email, messenger, instant message, on Facebook, or anything like that, so your friends know about the next stimulus package, more child tax credit checks coming out, adult tax credit checks coming out, the next stimulus check that could be in this next package. Rent assistance. There's going to be a lot of very exciting things probably in this next stimulus package. Remember, it's double the size of the third stimulus check package. So there's probably going to be a lot of really good things in this next package. So I'll keep you up to date on everything. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. This bottom video is how you can get rent assistance from the third stimulus check package from the government for up to 12 months, get your rent paid. And this video is my newest video on how President Biden wants to raise Social Security. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.